Free speech hero Elon Musk went on a banning spree last night on Twitter following claims by him that someone, after getting off of his plane, followed a car carrying one of his kids yesterday and had some sort of confrontation with this person. Elon is claiming that the only reason that this person was able to know where his kid was, and seemingly thinking that Elon was potentially going to be in the vehicle, was because of a Twitter account called Elon Jet. Elon Jet made a lot of news about a year ago. The creator of the account, Jack Sweeney, essentially is taking public information about flight tracking data, and he has an account for Elon Musk. He's got one for Bill Gates. Several folks who have their own planes, generally billionaires, have their own planes, and essentially tracks where the planes are going at any given time. It is not directly tracking the person. He doesn't have some magic chip inside of any of these guys. It's literally tracking the plane going from one location to another. At the time, Sweeney was actually a big fan of Elon Musk. About a year ago, Elon, before he owned Twitter, asked Sweeney to actually take the account down and that he would give him $5,000 to do so. Wow, you're going to get $5,000 from the freaking richest man in the world. Do you think maybe if he would have spent more money then, this wouldn't be an issue at all now? Sweeney turned it down at the time, saying he wanted a job to work for Elon, and Elon, or more money, and Elon seemingly never got back to him. And Sweeney kept the accounts growing. If anything, the accounts got way more following after all of that. Now, initially what happened was, after this claim from Musk that someone tracked down the vehicle carrying one of his kids, Elon and Twitter first banned Sweeney's personal account as well as the Elon Jet account. From there, things got very interesting with the banning of journalists who were covering the story. We can pull up the first article. Newsrooms are scrambling to counter Elon Musk's bans. News organizations are scrambling to respond to Elon Musk's suspension from Twitter of prominent journalists whose coverage he objected to. On Thursday, Twitter suspended CNN's Donnie O'Sullivan, the New York Times' Ryan Mack, and the Washington Post's Drew Harwell, as well as liberal commentator Keith Olbermann and reportables from Mashable and The Intercept. There were 10 or more journalists involved in all of these bans. The rationale that Musk gave for these bans was that these journalists and the Elon Jet account were doxing. Now, doxing is generally like giving somebody's identity on the internet, maybe posting the location of their house or something like that. Elon is claiming that the Elon Jet account was doxing, and that these journalists, purely for reporting on the story about Musk banning the Elon Jet account and linking to the Elon Jet account in their reporting, was also considered doxing. Now, reporting on the story and linking to the account that he banned and linking to, talking about the Elon Jet account, and blocking, like, this isn't like blocking some crazy conspiracy journalist, you know what I mean? This is like blocking journalists from very mainstream outlets. He's blocking folks from the New York Times. He shouldn't be banning anyone, especially given his stance on, I'm the most free, I'm buying this to become a more free speech platform, to make Twitter into a more free speech platform. Instead, he's banning very normie mainstream journalists who their beat is tech and covering Elon Musk and all of this stuff, and they're getting banned from the platform for literally just going ahead and reporting on what is happening. Seems not so free speech to me. You'll have to let me know if you disagree with that, I guess, in the comments below. Things got a lot weirder, though. Last night, as this was all unfolding, a group of journalists were in a Twitter space having a discussion about this. If you don't know, Twitter space is like an audio thing. You can all get into like a chat room and talk amongst yourselves. So several journalists were in a Twitter space, and Elon actually joined. Colin, we can go ahead and play that clip.
Not true. And you're suggesting that we're posting. We never. I never posted your address.
You posted a link to the address.
We posted a link. In the course of reporting about Elon Jet, we posted links to Elon Jet, which are now not online and now banned on Twitter. And Twitter also, of course, marks even the Instagram and Mastodon accounts of Elon Jet as harmful, using, we have to acknowledge, using the same exact link blocking technique that you have criticized as part of the Hunter Biden New York Post story in 2020. So what is different
Yeah.
here and
It's no more
there.
acceptable for me. It's no more acceptable for me, for you, than it is for me. Same thing. So anyway,
So it's unacceptable what you're doing?
no. What you dox, you get suspended. End of story. That's it.
Elon, I have to ask, I mean, I think what everyone's...
And where we cut that off there is where Elon actually just leaves the Twitter space altogether. I think he realized he was going to continue to get some tough questions. That journalist did a good job of making him realize, like, look, like, you criticized, like, essentially going out and banning anything that has to do with the story that you disagreed with the Hunter Biden laptop. Story being nuked on Twitter. I mean, I don't think that story should have been nuked on Twitter either. The way that it was crazy. But then to go ahead and essentially use the same tactics and just like ban all of the spreading of this Elon Jet news reporting, it's obviously extremely hypocritical, especially when, again, he's buying the platform to make it more free speech, more unbiased, and that is not what we're seeing with this and with several other things and all of these rash decisions that have happened so far. This gets a little bit crazier though because it takes it one step further. We can go ahead and pull up this other article here, Colin, and Twitter Spaces actually was taken down. Headline is Twitter Spaces appears to have been nuked after Elon Musk fled a space where he was asked about reporters being banned. That was the space that we just played for you there, just a clip of it. Twitter appears to have removed its Spaces function entirely after Elon Musk, its embattled CEO and ostensible purveyor of free speech, fled a space conversation on Thursday night in which he was questioned about the ban on journalists who reported on an account related to his private jet. Musk joined a discussion on Space, hosted by BuzzFeed news reporter Katie Notopoulos, about the permanent suspension of several reporters covering Twitter's ban on @ElonJet, an account that uses publicly available data to track the movement of Musk's private jet. He left after a few minutes as Notopoulos asked a follow-up question and the space was abruptly cut off. Shortly after, the entire Spaces function was no longer accessible. Twitter did not respond to questions about the function's disappearance. Late on Thursday, Musk responded to a tweet asking about the glitches on Spaces, saying, quote, "We're fixing a legacy bug, should be working tomorrow." That seems a little sus to me if you're asking. It just happens to have this bug like within an hour or so, a couple hours after you have this exchange here, after you're, seemingly getting yourself even caught. I mean, he leaves that space because I think he realizes like, oh shit, maybe I am doing this ridiculous thing rashly. Maybe not. Who knows what he's actually thinking. But all of this begs the question of what do we do with all of this? Like clearly, like the only people who are able to kind of go in and like buy a social media platform, or the folks who are running a social media platform, are extremely powerful billionaire types. We have kind of this interesting stuff that has been coming out. Some of it's been nothing major, but some of it's been major. We're essentially like direct proof that Twitter and other social media platforms, Facebook, with Mark Zuckerberg mentioned the FBI had reached out, are kind of directly working with the FBI and other agencies of government, and now in this case you've got Elon Musk, just a extremely powerful billionaire who's able to just remove things from the public discourse. He's trying to make Twitter some sort of town square to debate these topics. Like, how is it a town square if you just remove the voices who are, even like covering the story? They're not even necessarily agreeing or disagreeing, although many of them have been critical of Elon. But if you want to have a town square, let people be critical of you. Like, go in that space and defend your position. Don't show up for 45 seconds and then leave. That's pathetic. While I didn't think that it was going to necessarily go well, he had a chance to buy this and actually go ahead and make it more of an equitable space and make it more of this town hall. That didn't last very long. We'll ultimately see where it goes, but maybe it's time to look at how we manage these sorts of things. Is some sort of public ownership of these massive platforms a better way to go? Because currently, as it's working, I mean, this is a shit show. I don't know how he's going to necessarily get himself out of this mess. Anyway, what's going on with all of this right now is clearly a shit show, clearly not working very well. We'll see ultimately what Elon decides to do with these journalists. But for now, stay tuned here. We'll let you know if anything new happens here. We've got lots of good content coming over the weekend and into next week. Make sure you're subscribed to see when those happen. Hit the notification bell. You can follow me on Twitter at LewisD217. Thanks for watching, and have a great day, everybody.